The fast-approaching cashless society is one of the most important issues of our time, possibly the most important issue. The Mark of the Beast prophecy describes how the entire population of the planet will be forced to take a mark in their right hand or forehead if they wish to use money, and that anyone who accepts this mark will suffer the eternal wrath of God. Sobering stuff, isn't it? Over recent years, the public has been steadily conditioned to accept new forms of technology and money, like cryptocurrency, digital payments, and contactless cards. These are not the mark of the beast, but are important precursors to it. When the mark of the beast is globally implemented, there will be no more use of hard cash, like notes and coins. There will only be a cashless system using digital currency, and it will be impossible to use this invisible currency without an implantable chip or something similar. In other words, the mark of the beast and the cashless society go hand in hand. Those who stand to benefit the most from the cashless society, mainly banks and governments, like to capitalize on opportunities to drum up support for going cashless. In this video, I'll be revealing how the coronavirus pandemic has given those pushing the cashless society a significant and timely argument to help speed up the end of cash and the fulfillment of the Mark of the Beast prophecy. Rhetoric promoting the cashless society treats cash as the enemy. We are all in a race to see who can do away with it the fastest. The whole process is described as a war on cash. A battalion of reasons to do away with cash have been promoted to steer people in favor of going cashless. These have included such things as simplifying banking, wiping out the drug trade, crippling terrorism, improving the efficiency of immigration and law enforcement, ending bribes, hindering tax evasion, and creating a safer, more efficient and transparent society. Although more and more people are going cashless, there has been resistance from people who prefer to use cash for different reasons, who may not have a bank account or may just be suspicious of the direction in which it is all heading. However, now that coronavirus has hit the scene, the question is, will this all change? In the Bible, the Apostle Paul refers to cash as filthy lucre or dirty money. This description has never been so relevant as it is today. Cash is now being viewed as not just inefficient and cumbersome, but as plain dangerous. Speaking to the UK newspaper The Telegraph, a World Health Organization spokesperson said, "We know that money changes hands frequently and can pick up all sorts of bacteria and viruses. We would advise people to wash their hands after handling banknotes and avoid touching their face. When possible, it would also be advisable to use contactless payments to reduce the risk of transmission." Now, apparently while pathogens and viruses can survive on most surfaces for around 48 hours, paper money can reportedly transport a live flu virus for days. Aragona Giuseppe, a GP and medical advisor at Prescription Doctor, said, "Virus particles will be able to sit and attach themselves to paper notes and coins, posing a huge risk to the spread of infection as the money will be transferred over and over again from person to person, increasing the likelihood of a further surge of people infected. The best thing to do is to try and use your card, contactless or Apple Pay when you can." Not only does this echo what the WHO stated, it's rapidly being reflected in reality. Peter Gordon, Executive Vice President and Head of Emerging Payments at US Bank, said, "I believe this crisis will accelerate and move people to utilize all forms of digital financial services." In the UK, actual data revealed that the use of cash machines halved as the pandemic hit the country. Following the sharp reduction in ATM and cash usage, it has been predicted that usage will fall even further now that the country has been placed under lockdown. Due to fears the virus is being spread through notes and coins, a growing number of businesses have resorted to only accepting contactless payments. In March 2020, State Bank of India sent customers a notification message saying, "Dear customers, to counter the spread of COVID-19 coronavirus, please use bank's digital channels for performing banking transactions. We also request you to encourage others in using the bank's digital channels." While contactless payments are being recommended in place of cash transactions as a way to limit infection, it's worth noting that germs can also loiter all over credit and debit cards, smartphones, ATMs, and every other cash alternative device. Nick Hancock, writing for The Advocates, commented, "Too bad implemented microchip technology isn't further along, the banksters must be thinking." This ironic jab may not be too far from the truth. The truth is that cash is more unhygienic than cashless transactions, which don't involve paper money or hand-to-hand contact. Many of the arguments used by the system to further the cashless society make sense. But is that the full picture? Fear is as destructive a pandemic as coronavirus, driving people to look for stability, security, and strong governance. Governments know this, which is why they often use fear as a weapon. In addition to furthering the cashless agenda, it's becoming clear that coronavirus is being used to ramp up surveillance of citizens under the pretext of safety and order. It's no surprise that governments are using what is happening with coronavirus to their advantage to push the transition to digital currencies while passing draconian laws on their citizens. China is a perfect example of this. Its central bank has been looking to bring in a full digital currency system, and the country is leading the way in the field of surveillance. China's advanced social credit system enables citizens to be tracked on and offline around the clock. CCTV and facial recognition technology can detect elevated temperatures in a crowd or identify citizens not wearing a face mask, with drones chasing people down who step out of line. Apps have even been devised using the personal health information of citizens to alert others of their proximity to infected patients. Moreover, people are claiming this system has been highly effective in getting a grip on COVID-19. While China's high-tech surveillance system has been heavily criticized to date, coronavirus has become a catalyst, prompting more and more countries around the world to look to China's model for answers to further their own brands of surveillance and cashless initiatives. Vasuki Shastri, a researcher on the interplay of technology and democracy, said, "People have a hard time remembering privacy rights when they're trying to deal with something like a pandemic. Once the system gets scaled up, it can be very difficult to scale it back down. And then, maybe it takes on other uses." When talking about the end times, Jesus warned that a snare would come upon the whole world, and that most people would end up allowing themselves to be deceived by false prophets of the system. We know from Revelation 13 that the Antichrist will deceive people into accepting the mark of the beast. This will necessitate switching from cash to digital transactions. It will also mean people being deceived into signing away their freedoms to a strong centralized government that professes to have all the answers to the problems of the age. Of course, people will only be deceived if they have not developed a faith bigger than what the Antichrist offers them through his system and the use of his mark. Put simply, is our faith in money and in world governments to provide what we need? Or do we trust that God will provide for us if we choose to work for His kingdom instead? We want the message on this channel to go out loud and clear. Many of us have stopped working for Satan's system, just like those early disciples of Jesus who quit their jobs, forsook their homes, their families, their reputations, their security, their worldly prospects, everything, in order to follow a man who claimed he had all the answers. We have found out that he does. He, unlike the system and its false prophets, is true to his word. What is happening right now is lining up with what he and other genuine prophets have predicted over the centuries. This should sober us up, but also deeply reassure us, especially as things unfold. The bottom line is that there is a way out, but it will cost us everything, including for many of us, our actual lives. If you want to get in touch with others who are already preparing to resist the mark of the beast, please contact us at the email address that appears on the screen. Thank you for listening.